Here. What's up, guys and gals? Happy Wednesday, April 26, 2023. We have a chop day, right? Little travel day evening for teams that played early, which ironically, the Yankees have to travel to Arlington, and I feel like they may not be cleared to take that ride because it's going to get pretty nasty up in the DF dubs. So if I were the Yankees, I would just hang out in Minnesota. What's up, Dylan? What up, Shannon? What up, Rob, Fanatic, Humboldt, Jeff, Patrick Blackmane. Hope you guys are doing all right. Humble says, Gun, how do you predict the unpredictability of MLB? Is there a formula to use? I mean, there is literally a formula, an algorithm. But it's more about predicting range of outcomes, predicting what everyone else is trying to predict, playing the ownership, stuff like that. There's such an obscene amount of variance that luck is certainly a factor. And that you just have to embrace it, accept it, and find a way to appreciate it, I guess. Right? The trade-off to the variance is you can still bink tournaments with zeros in your lineups, right? Or you can still win tournaments without, having a double dong and stuff like that, right? So, don't get too discouraged. But once you build up that risk tolerance to be able to not feel as obligated to play chalk, I think you're in a good area. What up, Mighty Saint? Melinda. Initial thought in the early slate was 5-man Yanks. Switched to late 5-man Cleveland. Should have stayed in my first. It's Aaron Judge's birthday, y'all. How do we not know this? How do you think I can't stream every? No, I'm just kidding. They went off. You know what's crazy is they smacked Maeda, and then the kid that came out the bullpen, I think it was his debut. He had 8-9 Ks, something like that. Should just started him. He was killing it. Good for him. Here, what up, Conscious? How'd you guys do last night? Hopefully you did well. I did pretty good. It was one of those nights. Some nights I just get crazy with the amount of stacks I'm running. I can get 10, 12 main stacks. Last night, not really. I had I had 4 or 5 sub stacks maybe, and 4 or 5 main stacks, and just kind of leaned on those to go through, and it worked out. And having the Braves per usual, man, that team has been rock steady. Tough matchup today. It worked out. The sub stacks worked out because it wasn't really a true onslaught team. So being as spread out as I was a good way to be profitable. Not being as spread out as I usually am. Played the Mets. I had some Mets. They were one of my 5 main stacks. It's about last night or today? Last night I feel like the Mets. I got something. The Mets, I think they were in my top lineup. What up, Trey? 5-man Cleveland stack got me. Dang. That's tough, man. That's tough. But what are you going to do? All right, let's do a little bit of research. We have a medium-sized slate tonight, right? I guess it is kind of juicy, but it has the early lock, so you got to make sure that we're all cognizant of that. 6:35 p.m. Eastern lock, 8-game slate. So that's about 30 to 40 minutes earlier than usual. Just keep that in mind. I'm cool with it. It's one of those Yankee games done, so once lock is locked, man, I get to vibe out a little bit. Hopefully the Storms don't knock out the power, and we'll be all right. What up, Justin? Been MMEing every night? I think so. I guess there's a couple nights where I only did 20 lineups, but yeah. If you guys don't MME, you don't have to, but if you've ever been, if you're playing a couple lineups and you're getting frustrated after a couple days because the few stacks you sink your teeth in don't work, you could practice in there's nickels on Fanduel, there's quarters on Fanduel, there's 50-cent mini maxes, I believe, on DraftKings. You ain't gotta be balling on. You could ball on a budget. You ain't gotta be balling to start creating a process, right? A lot of people like to go straight to the big contest when they decide, all right, I'm gonna MME, and then they don't really understand the nuances of managing a portfolio of lineups like that. So I would say the nickel is $8, less than $8 to grind out for a week and understand a process. The quarter, whatever, $40 for the quarter arcade. Try that. Give it a shot. Even if it ain't 150 lineups, try 50 lineups. Well, only if you have been thinking about that, right? Matt's got you. What up, Travis? Hope you're doing all right. Let's start with weather. rotogrinders.com/weather/MLB. Shout out to Kevin Roth. Oh, how's the audio? I don't know what it is. So 2 days ago we started. The audio was like all funky. I literally the only thing I did is I broke my other headset. So I've been switching this headset from the computer to my PlayStation. And just randomly, yeah, 2 days ago the audio was way different, and then yesterday it was normal, meaning I had to go back to the settings from 2 days ago. So I just switched again. So you guys let me know if it's if it needs a little tweaking, and I'll tweak it. Looks like Miami at Atlanta. Wait, Seattle Phillies on the slate too. There's enough rain around that we could maybe see a delay or a late start, but it's not much. Blah blah blah. Cool, similar to Philly. I think it's a delay. Certainly possible. There's maybe a better chance of delay in Philly. I do expect they manage to get the game in. Good news, Miami at Atlanta. There's going to be 1 or 2 nasty storms in all of Georgia tonight. It's very likely they are south of Atlanta. Cool. And then Padres, Cubs, cold temps around 40. Oof. And winds in from center, 5 miles an hour. So shout out to Kevin Roth for that. If you guys know how that page is tabbed or bookmark, probably should. It's a pretty handy page. We are going to open up the rundfs.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. I got to see. There was a coupon code shot out last night, and I forgot what it was. Give me a second, and we'll figure it out. I'm the worst. Coupon code. I think I tweeted it last night. It was coupon code DONG, D-O-N-G. See, I would have guessed it. So, if you guys have been wanting to try a VIP membership and want a little bit of a discount, there is a 20% off coupon code DONG, D-O-N-G, D-O-N-G. So let's say you want to try a month pass. It comes with a $20 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. Sticker tag is $70. Maybe my computer's just going slow. It's like, yo, dude, you should stop leaving me on all the time. Coupon code DONG. Throw that in there. It goes from $69.99 to $55. That's not bad for a month, and it does that for each one. So if you guys want to take 20% off the top, coupon code DONG, D-O-N-G, will do it. And let's open up the rundfs.com MLB VIP spreadsheet. Lineups are trickling out here. We might have to get a couple more confirmed, and then we will be swimming around. What up, Ryan? Yankee stacks went nice. Let's go. Smiley been pitching over his head. Walk is a track. Yeah, honestly, at first glance, when I looked at pitching, I was like, oh man, this might be tricky, right? Cortez guys had a wide mixed bag of results. Sandy Alcantara, one, he's dealing with a loose weather, and then two, just Atlanta's really good, right? Bryce Elder, kind of the same thing. Hunter Brown, tough Tampa team. It's just like every pitcher has stuff going against them, so it's gonna be a little tricky, but we'll try to come up with a hierarchy, if you will, daddy, of pitchers, right? All right, so let's go pull up some lineups here. It looks like we do have a Dodgers lineup. Did you guys see the list of Dodgers or ex-Dodgers? There's like 5 or 6 of them that are on paternity leave. Mookie was one of them. He's back. Welcome back, Mookie. Freddie Freeman, Jason Hayward, 3-hole Jason Hayward. Wow. James Outman in the cleanup spot. Man, if you were a Dodgers fan 3 years ago, when you guys are perennial contenders, even 2 years ago, you get in a time machine, or someone sends you a lineup card from 2 years from now, and it's Mookie, Freeman, Jason Hayward, James Outman, Miguel Vargas, Michael Busch, Chris Taylor, David Peralta, Austin Wynns. That is quite the transformation. Dodgers have a 4.7 run total on the bump for the Pirates here. Roansy Contreras, 5,700 on DraftKings, and yeah, this is not your daddy's or older brother's Dodgers, huh? Let's pull up Roansy in the Fangraphs machine. look at his body of work this season. I know he's got a couple big games and better matchups, but it might be a perception issue right now. Like, this could be a fun matchup. I think James Outman's really good. Mookie Betts really good. There's still some sluggers in there we got to worry about. But that's Drew Smiley, you know. 9.7% swinging strike rate for Contreras has exceeded double digits in the last 2 games. Batted ball data, 4.92 xFIP. Every game with a 4.2 or greater xFIP. Sierra was sub 4 in that Cincy game. StatCast has given us 6.3% barrel rate. That's respectable. Ground ball rates low. Fly ball rate 40%. Line drive rate 24%. Some infield fly balls. So not fun xFIPs, I guess we'll say. But on a slate where pitching's a little bit suspect, you take a guy like Ronzi in a pitcher's park PNC, I guess you could do crazier things at $5,700, right? I guess that have a 10 plus fantasy point. Is that possible here? One game it all fell through against Houston, but Boston, St. Louis, Cincy, we would take any one of those outcomes at this price point. So yeah, I might get to a little of them. And I think tonight I'm just going to be way more, have a higher risk tolerance when it comes to my pitching pool. I think Ronzi might be a DraftKings only click for me. I'll do some meditating on the Fanduel price. But like I said, this is a little bit watered down version of the Dodgers lineup where only Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and James Outman have enough power to really spook me. Everyone else, you're just kind of hoping aren't too scrappy and not too much nickel and diamond. But man, James Outman's been crushing it. 4.32 home run per, or excuse me, 4.32 rating on the bomb detector, a 209 WRC. That's crazy. Ronzi last season 1.38 home run per 9 to lefties, 48% fly ball rate. I guess we can split that this spot. Ultimately, it will be a spot where I am getting access to Dodgers as well. Hasn't allowed a homer to lefties yet, but let's see if the batted ball data is homer friendly. Actually has a higher ground ball rate to lefties, but still a 37.5% fly ball rate, over 20% line drive rate. Pull rate's pretty high. Hard contact's really, really low. So hard contact's been sub 30% to both sides. That's pretty positive. So I think I might, in the grand scheme, we'll put Ronzi in the tier 3. We'll stamp it as DK, and then I think Dodgers might be a sub stack for me. And then I think the Pirates. What we looked at yesterday, we were digging around with some bullpens. I think the Pirates bullpen has actually been surprisingly good, especially at not allowing homers. And in the game we play, we're looking for stacks to kind of homer through and through, right? So let's go team stats. Let me double check that. I'm pretty sure we talked about their bullpen being, or at least the results being really good and the homers being really, really low. So we'll go, oh, I hit fielding. Damn. Is 5 stacking the process still for single entry? I would say that would depend on how many entries are in the contest, because if it's like less than 100, 150, you don't have to full sell out for a stack. You can, but when we're full stacking teams in big field tournaments, it's because we're completely unscrewing the floor panels to where there's none, and we're going straight for the ceiling. So we're trying to get on the roof. If it's a 1,000 or less entry tournament, you could probably get away with a couple handcuffs, maybe a couple 3-3, stuff like that. So I wouldn't say it's the end all be all in single entry, but it is king for sure in mass entry. So let's go advanced stats for bullpens, right? We have just bullpens, pitching relievers. We'll go to plus stats. I'm pretty sure they're at like 30 home run per 9 plus. Which is second best in baseball. The Rangers, really? Rangers are down there? That's incredible. What up, Rob? Help me understand what OPS. OPS is on base plus slugging. So it's your on base percentage and your slugging percentage, which is actually one of my favorite stats. Like, I think I did a video last year where it's just like, if I had to choose 5 stats for selecting hitters, 5 stats for selecting pitchers, OPS is one of them because it combines a little bit of everything. It'll take the slugging, which we need for upside, on base we need for points, and then this year the on base counts a little bit more for upside if those guys are stolen base threats. Let me see totals allowed. Here, what up, ACP? Yo, ACP, resident Dodgers fan. If I picked up the phone and I called ACP from 2 years ago and I read today's lineup, they've allowed 4 homers, lowest in baseball. What would that ACP say? Would I get hung up on? Would I get laughed at? How the F you get this number? Hate rainy days. If I'm granted DFS slates, at least give me some sun to deal with DFS pain. Yeah, it's that time of year though, man. These I don't know, cold front pressure systems, blah 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 blah, weather terms. It's been a lot lately. Fortunately, it doesn't look like I'm going to be in the worst of it tonight. It is going to be a little bit more north in the Dallas area, so I'll hunker down. But I might get some of the hooks from it down low. Don't ACP. Don't say, hey, ACP, in 2 years you're gonna have Mookie and Freddie Freeman, and then your 3-hole hitter is gonna be Jason Hayward and a bunch of guys you never heard of, plus Chris Peralta and Chris Taylor and David Peralta. All right, Pirates stacks. What are we thinking here? Pirates have been overperforming as a team versus expectation. Tony Gonsolin coming to this season with a 3.12 expected ERA. Really solid pitcher last year, to be honest. 24% K rate, so 1-4. Let's pull him up. There's no way we got rid of Bellinger and Seager, right? Gonsolin's just going to be an opener here. Dude, did you guys see Gabe Kapler's pitching rotation last night? You would have thought it was game 3 of the ALCS or NLCS. Dodgers. Andre Jackson, 3 innings. So, just a straight bullpen game here from the Dodgers, which kind of puts everyone off limits. And in terms of Pirate stacks, I guess we'd just be betting on talent. They had... Is Brian Hayes back? Wasn't he on a paternity leave? 425, that was yesterday. Was it? Oh, it was Brian Reynolds, wasn't it? So if they still without Brian Reynolds, then it becomes a little bit tougher to love a full stack here. But there's a couple fun names to click, but all of this is just going to be purely based on talent here. It's not likely to see the same pitcher twice, I guess. So, yeah, that's how we do that. Pandemic was the greatest thing for LA teams. Dodgers. All right, Mariners and the Phillies. J-Rod, Ty France, Jared Kelenic batting third. Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right. Yo, Jared Kelenic having a season. This guy came up. There was so much hype on him, and he just kind of fell flat, right? Heard them footsteps. And then he actually got sent down. And now he's back, and he's raking. Now he's looking like the prospect everyone was hyping up. Speaking of prospect everyone was hyping up, man, Miller last night, very unlucky first inning, right? And then afterwards, he got like 4 Ks in a row. He ended up getting 6 strikeouts. But yeah, you see those high pitching prospects, man. They don't convert right away. But I guess also a little bit unlucky, and Mike Trout and Shohei Ohtani. Logan Gilbert versus Taijuan Walker. Refresher from Roth here. There's enough rain around that we could maybe see a delay or a late start, but it's not much. So just kind of asterisk next to that. Double check it later. Logan Gilbert's been pretty solid for the most part this season, right? Came into this season with a 4.1 expected ERA, 23% K rate ish. Tough park here, Citizens Bank Park. And I'm certainly going to like these Mariners. I can tell. 10.6% swing and strike rate on the season for Logan. 2.92 xFIP, a sub-3 Sierra. I mean, that is elite numbers. Cleveland twice, at Chicago, Milwaukee. A lot of stuff on his side. A 5% barrel rate and just a 36% hard hit rate. So looking really, really good pre-flop. So in a vacuum, just betting on talent, Logan Gilbert looks like one of the better talented pitchers available today. But we are dealing with a tough park and a tough lineup. It is a little different than the devastating lineup we expected coming into the season, but it's still rounded enough where Turner, Schwarber, Cassidy had a couple homers the other day. Ramuto solid. There's enough concern here, but there's also enough strikeouts. So the risk reward, I think, is certainly worth being at. Out of curiosity, let's see where Logan Gilbert lands in ownership. Also, how about that Blake Snell full fade? Love it when a plan comes together. I'll take my bubble championships. Nope. I'd be ashamed to win a championship like that. Sandoval is your chalk. So Gilbert's at 22%. And I think that's fair. Patrick Sandoval, eh? All right, I think we're gonna get to Gilbert. This is definitely a scumdacker. At least 3 corners, maybe 4 with Taijuan Walker, maybe. Let's see. Do we want to throw Gilbert? I think we throw Gilbert in a 2 for now. And I think we offer up Phillies and Mariners. We just do it. I'm gonna just do it. 4.5 run total for the Mariners, 4.2 for the Phillies. Taijuan Walker, let's check him out. Maybe wasn't playing with DK, so he got those helpless right. Yeah, it's always when you can't play the rookie pitcher that he goes off, right? The Yankees won in the bubble. Can I conductor tweets? No. I would have been. You know what? This doesn't even count. It doesn't even. We're just not here to play baseball. No, that was such a weird playoffs to sweat, right? I remember. I think the Yankees and the Guardians played, and Gio Urshela. The Yankees had the bases loaded. James Karinchak came in, and Gio Urshela was up, and I was like, Gio Urshela homers. I have to name my kid after him. And then he hit a grand slam. And I'm just screaming, bro. Oh my God. And then, that's the excitement I felt. And then, when you look at the replay, it's in an empty ballpark. And it's just so weird, man. I think in 20 years, maybe even 30, just late enough where we're still around, but there's the second generation of people that, baseball has evolved. Looking at that film is just going to be so fascinating. For them, because we can't really look at film of baseball during the world wars and stuff, right? But that video is going to be around, and it's going to be kind of crazy to look back at. 9.1% swing and strike rate for Taijuan Walker this season. Batted ball data 4.5 xFIP, 5 Sierra. The ground ball rate's been pretty solid, which is kind of a stack killer. We want some more elevation. Can we split it and get a little bit more hopes here? 2 homers to righties. So let's look at the ground ball rate to righties. 47%. He's at 80. Oh, wait a minute. What? 8.1 innings. So not a ton of sample, but that's a ridiculous number. 89% ground ball rate to lefties. What was it last year? 44%. So a little bit of regression here. So I want to be here just because I want access to two good offenses in a hitter friendly park. But certainly wouldn't be surprised when Walker just ground balls his way to killing a stack. Let me look at ownerships on these stacks, huh? So we'll go hitters. Braves won their first title in 25 years fair and square. except the Astros. F them. Braves. Not Braves. I didn't get a monster today, y'all. I don't have caffeine going. So really low ownership on the Phillies side. Reasonably low ownership, it feels like, on the Mariners side. So if you're a fan of betting on talent in a hitter's park, Citizens Bank, I think that's where I'll be. And then Taijuan Walker as a play, what do you guys think? I think no. 9,200, I definitely don't love that. Doesn't feel like a high strikeout spot. At least with Gilbert, we know the strikeouts can be there. And if Walker lets a few up, he's not really able to erase it, right? 3 Ks, 4 Ks last 2 games. So I'm probably going to sit out Walker. It's also been missing the strike zone a little bit. It was weird. Braves won their first title in 20. Oh yeah, you think it's worth stacking ATL in Arizona? Let's see, ATL. So Atlanta's one of those teams that are just so good. Anytime I can get an opportunity to roster them at like single-digit percentage, I'm just gonna do it. But they're they're up against a Cy Young caliber pitcher. They're actually favorited too, which is kind of crazy. Not crazy, but they're decent favorites, right? Minus 155. And then you said Arizona. Let's see, Arizona. I don't see Arizona. Or maybe I'm reading it wrong. Oh, they're playing right now. Get you some B12 gummies. Is that like a caffeine gummy, or are you trying to set me up? Nah, I like sipping on a Monster or a Bang. I just don't have any right now. Alright, Astros lineup is out. Jerry Pena, Kyle Tucker. Chad, you know what you guys put me on? Last week I was talking about how I binge watched the second season of Mayor of Kingstown. And then we started praising Taylor Sheridan. So you guys put me on Tulsa King. So last night, one sitting, I binge watched the entire season of Tulsa King. And I was very, very perturbed at the final episode, how it ended. I literally wanted to go find her. But it was good, right? It actually wasn't what I was expecting. Like when I just hear Tulsa King and look at the advertisements, not even the trailers, but just like the poster for it, I was expecting something way closer to Yellowstone, and that really wasn't it. It was pretty good. So I appreciate you guys putting me on that. And now I gotta find something else to watch. I'm probably gonna need to binge watch something when the storm hits, right? So if you guys got any recommendations, is there any other Taylor Sheridan gems I'm missing out on? Let me know. 4.2 is our run total for the Astros. 4.5 for the Rays. Is this a doubleheader? Because I swear my bro was just like hitting me up about Astros beating the white hot Rays, and I was like, I'm pretty sure they were losing that series. 540. Or maybe they just won yesterday, and my brain still hasn't. No. All right, cool. So it's gonna be Hunter Brown taking on Calvin Faucher. So let's look at Hunter Brown. Brown is their one of their top prospect pitchers. Throws gas. He's in a tough matchup. So at 9K on DraftKings, 9,500 on Fanduel, he's being priced towards his talent. And we're gonna check out his metrics from the first couple games, and then I also want to check out what his potential pitch count would be. Man, my stuff is slow. I gotta restart my computer tonight. Maybe the power goes out and does it for me. It's for energy. It's hard to take Stallone seriously. But the cute thing about that season was, like, you didn't have to take him seriously. You know what I'm saying? Like, it wasn't a super serious show. Like, it was serious, but it was also, like, cute and funny throughout the whole time. So, like, you don't have to over respect him. But I enjoyed it. 11.4% swing and strike rate. I have low standards, so when it comes to shows, 60% first pitch strike. We like that. Sub 4 xFIP, sub 4 Sierra. Outside of that first game, all of his games have been sub 4 xFIP and Sierra. So, talent-wise, it's there for Hunter Brown. Matchup is rough. But what can we get ownership-wise? 10%. I want to be in on that. Put him in a pitcher's park. There's still some strikeouts in this lineup. I'm going to play some Hunter Brown. So Gallen cover up the Royals. Gallen's really good. I think Gallen might be one of the Cy Young contenders this year in the National League. And then Foucher is an opener. So we're getting a couple bullpen games today, huh? So Tampa Bay pitching, Josh Fleming coming out the pen, a little lefty action. 3 innings. So if you want to get to the Astros, you're just betting on talent, which is fine. In that case, I'd probably be more privy to some good Substack potential in Pena, Tucker, Bregman, Jolks even. And then maybe the same for the Rays. I'm not bracing for a shootout, so let's do that. Astros, Rays. Give me Hunter Brown. We can't play the pitchers. And that's all I got to say about that. What up, Jake? Haven't seen Tulsa King or any of Taylor Sheridan stuff? Dude, you haven't watched Yellowstone? I thought I was late to the party in Yellowstone. I love Yellowstone so much. Nationals lineup is out. Kyle, Luis Garcia, Jamer Candelario, Joey Meneses, Kyber Ruiz, Dom Smith, Lane Thomas, C.J. Abrams, Victor Robles, Mackenzie Gore on the bump up against Dakota Sengai. Man, I tell you what, Sengai's had enough innings that it should be populating in the bomb detector. Why is it not? Let's see. Does he have a Kodai Sengai? Does he have less than 10 innings to one side of the plate? Splits. He has less than 10 innings to lefties. I should still be getting bomb ratings for righties, though. I think. Unless there's like a weird spelling for it. Sengai's coming back with the price. Kodai Sengai. Let's see. Live data. Give me a second, chat. Nerd stuff. Can you rate your sides for Oakland and the Angels? Yeah. I mean, probably the Angels first. And apparently the Sandoval is going to be chalky. Sengai doesn't have... He's not in here? Or is it just taking forever to search? Man, give Yellowstone a shot, Travis. The only thing is, I promise you, you'll get addicted. So if you give it a shot, maybe have the weekend off. Kodai Sengai. Kodai Sengai. He's in there. I have to look more at that. Oh. Why so many righties in the Rays lineup? Yeah, I don't know. I guess not really. Franco, Brandon Lau, Taylor Wall, 3 lefties. Yeah, I don't know. Let's pull up Sengai's metrics from this season. 10.8% swinging strike rate, 4.23 xFIP, 4.68 Sierra. So he hasn't been like dominant, right? That first game, he had a rough first inning, and then we were ready to hit the panic button. Then he just kind of bounced back. But then, like, after that, it's like it doesn't look like he's gonna be elite, and he's had a lot of command issues. And in retrospect, knowing now, you know, the Giants have been super strikeout prone. This walk issue is a big time problem. And this is a Nats team that is kind of scrappy. So I'm not that interested in 10.6K. I'm not interested at all, really. Sengai is coming at 13% ownership. Mackenzie Gore on the bump for the Nats against the Mets. Gore. And at some point, yeah, Travis, there's a lot. So there's probably like 4, 5, 6 seasons of actual Yellowstone. Then there's a prequel. And when I say prequel, I mean it's like 1883 or something. And that's pretty cute in its own. Even if you don't watch Yellowstone, like, you don't have to know Yellowstone to watch that. You can appreciate it more. That has, oh man, is it Tim McGraw and his wife? It's so good. It has Sam Elliott in it. I might watch it just for fun. And then there's a new one, 1923, which it's not as good. I'm still watching it, but man, I don't know. It's all really, really good. And one thing about Taylor Sheridan is he loves horses. I think he owns a ranch in Texas. And watching all these different shows and how they involve horses, like even Tulsa King, it's just kind of cool. And it's like, I know he has something to do with that. 13.4% swinging strike rate for Mackenzie Gore, 63% first pitch strike, sub 4 xFIP. Sierra in the 4.6, ground ball rate 53%. So Mackenzie Gore, advanced metrics feel usable. I just don't love pitching in lefties against the Mets. 2 homers against lefties. 183 average to righties with 20 Ks and 18.1 innings. So the strikeouts have been there. I might take some tournament shots on Mackenzie Gore. What are we getting on ownership wise? He's just like untouched at 4%. And right, there's some menacing bats here, and they don't strike out a ton. Marte, Lindor. So this might be a little two-sider. I certainly want access to the Mets offense. But, man, if you give me Gore at 7,500, 5%, I think I'll take a shot at that. Fanduel, maybe not pushing the issue here, but so we'll offer up a Mets full stack. And then Sengai, if I don't want to play him, I have to at least consider pieces of the other side. We saw a little bit of pop last night. Was it Kybert Ruiz with the homer? And Joey Meneses, we know he has a little bit of power in his bat, so maybe there's a couple one-offs here. I just hate to attach to a full stack here. And then I feel like the price on Senga is just so uncomfortable. So I have to meditate on that. But I do think the ownership is low enough on Senga that if you think he has the, what did we say, 12% outside the top 5, like, I wouldn't fault you. I don't have an opinion on him here in this spot. If I was leaning, I'd be leaning to not playing him. Tim McGraw and Faith Hill, yeah, it's really good. The 4.6 range, that's what it is. We worried about weather affecting pitching here. What did Ross say? Similar to Philly, I think that delay is certainly possible. There's maybe even a better chance of delay here than Philly, but I do expect they manage to get the game in regardless. So, yeah, I guess if they had some mid-inning delays, that could be an issue. But I'm not that, like, if I lose out on Gore, I'm not going to lose sleep anyway, and I'm not really playing Senga from where I'm standing now. So, a little bit worried, but not too worried. Bomb detector. I don't have a bomb detector for Senga yet. What's the batted ball data telling us about Senga? What do you think of the Yanks, Volpe, and Judge? You put up good numbers? Volpe, Judge, Rizzo, man. And I guess LeMahieu. They have to carry hard. Man, they're coming to Texas next couple days. 4-game series, I believe. Get DeGrom on Friday, man. Ugh. 50% ground ball rate. So the ground ball's been there. 3 homers to lefties. What's the batted ball to lefties so far? Ground ball rate's been elevated to both sides. He's got really unlucky with his home run to fly ball percentage. Still trying to find his way. That series I watched was the Ozarks. Dude, that's a good one. I love Ruth. I always said, and once you get to watching it, I want to see Ruth versus Beth, and you'll understand later. Like those two girls, man. Was she talking about the Mariners Phillies, like any stacks in that game? Yeah, it's a bet on talent and park for me, but I'm there. Walker's been kind of ground ball, and Gilbert's been really good as a pitcher. So you definitely see some spoil potential, but I take the opportunity for those stacks at the ownership they're projected right now. It's too good for me to pass up. Not a fan of Herman giving up all those runs, but you'll have that. Yeah. All right, the Yankees have 2 pitchers, basically. Everyone else. Like, when you throw out Clark Schmidt, Domingo Herman, and Johnny Burrito, you have no idea what you're going to get. You just really don't. You know what you're going to get in a Cole and Nestor start. But that's what happens when you want a 30-something-year-old injury-prone Carlos Rodon, literally injured Frankie Montas. You give Severino an extension. I love Severino, one of my favorite pitchers, but like we knew all these guys were injury-prone. So now we're dealing with it. Jorge Soler batting third. Luis Reyes. Avi Garcia. But yeah, I need a new show to watch, though. Is there anything out there that I could maybe binge in one night that you guys would recommend? Like, I mean, I guess if it had 2 seasons, that'd be cool, too. But I've been enjoying these little one-night binges. Marlins 3.8 run total. Braves 4.4. Bryce Elder taking on Sandy Alcantara. Alcantara, one of the best pitchers in baseball, particularly in the National League. Cy Young guy, right? Tough matchup for the Braves. Tough matchup against the Braves. So I do think this is sometimes a spot where the field just doesn't make a decision. We're like, nah, I don't want to play him because it's the Braves, and I don't want to stack the Braves because it's Sandy. Do we have the field projected making a decision here? 13%. That's pretty low. And then for the Braves, who have been pretty piping hot, they're untouched. So you could be on both sides and not have to give up a ton of equity. But I especially love the thought of the Braves every day because they've been getting it done in several different facets, right? Acuna's Ricky Henderson, right? But Alcantara is a hard guy to get off against because he's such a ground ball demon. 14% swinging strike rate essentially this season. A 4 xFIP, ground ball rates at 40%, which actually feels low for him. Last year he had a 55% ground ball rate to righties, 52% to lefties. So it's actually not inducing as many ground balls. And the line drive rate's kind of elevated this season. Last year the line drive rate to lefties is 16%, to righties 16%. So we have seen a couple leaks in that regard. StatCast has given us a 5% barrel rate, 37% hard hit rate, and then splitting them up. Any homers here? 2 homers to lefties, 15 Ks in 16 innings, 5 Ks in 8 innings to righties. So I'd say, well, let's do a little bit more diving into maybe why we're seeing some differences here in Sandy. So it's slight, but it's not insignificant, right? So I'm going to look at his pitch results. Let's see if there's something that's specifically different results-wise or expected-wise. Second place in the early 50 Cent. Let's go. Like Breaking Bad. So I actually haven't watched Breaking Bad, and that's one that stuns people when I tell them that. So maybe I'm due. But I feel like there's a ton of seasons, right? I don't want to have to maybe I'll watch it. Maybe. The Punisher series? Nuh-uh. 7 seasons. Finishes strong where its most long series fall off. No, I haven't seen that. Is it like based off the... Wasn't that a comic or a superhero? Let's see. Expected slugging 551 on the sinker. Last year it was 342. So that looks like where the major difference is. Expected WOBA was 412. Last season it was 298. So his sinker results, or at least his expected results, have sharply eroded. Launch angle went from -5 to 7. 86 mile an hour exit velocity versus almost 89, and the whiff is better. So it looks like the sinker is not performing as well as it was last year. Change up 464. Change up last year was 230. So the change up as well. So we'll have to watch those two pitches. But anytime you're going to give me the Braves at single digit ownership, I have to take a shot. Even if it's just an 8%er, which probably is feeling right. And then Bryce Elder. Game of Thrones. I haven't watched Game of Thrones. And I was around for the hype when Twitter was taken over by people sweating Game of Thrones every night. So I love that about it. But from the loose details I got about that show, it seemed like it was a little too out. Like I've never really been into like fiction and I don't know. Maybe isn't there like dragons and like medieval craziness? Maybe it's not that bad. Maybe I should open more horizons. But I'm a sucker for like crime / funny western / modern. You know what I mean? Prison. I love prison stuff. My background, which I guess is why Mayor of Kingstown appealed to me, is because a lot of nuggets that brought me back, which may not be a good thing. 11% swing and strike rate for Bryce Elder, 3.53 xFIP, 3.74 Sierra, 51% ground ball rate. Pull rate's pretty high. Are we playing Bryce Elder? That's a big maybe, huh? Just around 20%. I think I have to. Bryce Elder. And then Sandy. I gotta make a decision on Sandy too. Because this is a strikeout prone lineup. We'll tier 3 him for now. That just feels wrong, but we'll do it. So give me a Braves onslaught. I'm not that intrigued with a Marlins stack. We'll go back to Elder splits here to see if there's a side to watch out for. Better Call Saul, man. That's a whole new universe of stuff that I need to one day catch up on, I guess. Altered Carbon? I've never even heard of that. Breaking Bad? Yeah, I think Breaking Bad seems like an obvious show for me, and I just haven't. So I think I had to do it. Oz? Yeah, I remember that show. I never watched it. I just remember people talking about it. There was a scene where something got bit, right? That was like viral. No homers allowed to either side yet. 6 total extra base hits. Is the batted ball data leaking anything to either side? Jesus, man. This guy's ground ball rate is really good. Yeah. So I think we could one-off some Marlins here. If Jazz gets on, steals a base. John Birdie, 7 hole again, same thing. But I kind of like the thought of Elder. I might promote Elder to tier 2 the more I think about it. Strikeout. There's no real power. Like, Jazz and Jesus Sanchez are the 2 ISOs over 200. I might get to tier 2 on Elder here. One last look at swinging strike rates. 11%. Let's do it. Let's tier to it. Rice. Goliath and Boss are both solid. All right, Padres and the Cubs. Man, Padres. I'm taking heat as a Yankees fan about going through the slump when we have like an all-star injured list, and Padres fans get to just chill and not get any heat. Come on, y'all. Let's be equal opportunity slanderists. What's going on with San Diego? This team should be like the best team in baseball pre-flop, right? Goodness gracious. Cubs lineup. Horner. Hold me closer. Time to dance, babe. Ian Happ. Seiya Suzuki. Trey Mancini. You can put it on the board. Yes. Jan Gomes. Nelson Velasquez. Dude. Hawk Harrelson, bro. I wish, was he, did he get canceled? That dude has some fun calls, man. He gone and you can put it on the board. It's just legendary. 4.1 run total for the Padres, 4.2 for the Cubs. Cold, a little windy blowing in, not much, a little bit. And then Waka taking on Drew Smyly. Waka and Smyly in the year 2022. We'll go to Drew Smyly. Lost a perfect game bid. As Jan Gomes body flopped over him. I don't know if he was going to make that play anyway. But, man, it sucks for a guy like Smyly to lose a shot at history. 11% swinging strike rate for Smyly. Only one game in the sub 10%. And that was, ironically, against the same team he almost perfectoed. And a 4.24 xFIP 3.79 Sierra. Ground ball rate's been really low. Fly ball rate pretty high. Infield fly ball rate also pretty high. I don't think I'm believing in Drew Smyly. At least not officially. But the hard hit rate is really, really low. So the ironic thing is it's not attached to like a heavy ground ball rate. But I guess his ground ball rate's been pretty inconsistent. So his game-to-game xFIP. So you really don't know what you're going to get when you play Drew Smyly, huh? Pitch count's good, though. Let's see. Pitch type. Fastball, curveball. So a lot of curveballs, right? So reminds me of that Rich Hill season a couple years back, where he was essentially a fastball curveball guy, and his curveball was so good that it was just getting him through innings and getting him through games here. So looking at the curveball, Machado hits the curveball pretty well. Jake Cronenworth. I don't think I want to play him. I don't know. It's hard for me to buy into what he's selling. Then Michael Wacha, I'll pull him up. I don't think I'm going to play him either. But it is a pitcher-friendly environment with cooler temps. Need this money gun. Same as always for San Diego, right? Dodgers fans getting the heat too, man. Why is San Diego fans get a pass? I don't get it. 9.6% swinging strike rate for Wacha so far this season. A 4.7 xFIP, 4.6 Sierra. Ground ball rate's low. Fly ball rate and line drive rate's high. So he's got some gettable numbers that can get got. 13% barrel rate, not what you want. 40% hard hit rate. So really nothing super redeeming here. And especially if you're not going to miss a lot of bats, the Cubs, despite it, being cold. Man, he had a 2% swinging strike rate against Arizona. That's impeccable. I'd be interested in a couple Cubs bats. Wisdom should be batting higher against a pitcher that doesn't miss bats. 18% strikeout rate last year, $1.25 on the home run per nine. I mean, this is a Wisdom home run spot, and they maybe rob a second, definitely a third at bat against them, right? 404 on the bomb detector. So I'll go. And why can't I quit, yo? I can't quit these Padres, man. You just look at this lineup on paper. It's like, how do they suck? And apparently the field can't quit them either. Tatis, Machado, Soto, Xander. I mean, that alone, that's just. And you get Nelly against a closer to contact lefty, even though it's a elite contact. Let me see what the metrics are on Smiley's curveball. It's like expected slug if he's just thriving off 40% curveball. I swear this is identical to the Rich Hill season when Rich Hill was on. What team was that? Was that the Pirates or the Dodgers? Might have been the Dodgers. Was Rich Hill the guy that was like throwing a no-hitter against the Rays and it went to like the 10th inning? I feel like that was Rich Hill. Curveball has a 151 expected slug, a 129 expected batting average. That's incredible. A 79 mile an hour exit velocity, 36% whiff rate. I mean, numbers nasty. Numbers are nasty. So I still want to take a shot on talent if they're going to be low owned. So I guess that's how we do it. We'll go Padres because we just a sucker for pain. We'll go Cubs on the Substack. I'm not going to play Waka. I'm slightly tempted to take a shot on Smiley, but I don't think I'm going to actually do it. Because I don't think it's a strikeout spot, right? Like, this is a really low K rate team against lefties. So I think the average to better scenario for Smiley here is 6 strong, like 4 or 5. Like, if you got a strikeout per inning, I'd be kind of shocked. So I probably just don't expect him to break the slate to be truly optimal. But I'll take shots on Padres and hope that the field is starting to give up on him. I don't know. Might be stacking Cubbies. Yeah, I'm more inclined to get to the Cubs. I wish that maybe the Substack and the Cubs is a little scary. Like, maybe I should go full stack just based on how bad Walker's projects. But how do you grab 5 Cubs and just feel great about life, you know? Like, if Wisdom was up a little bit higher, I would love a lane that gave me, like, Wisdom, Suzuki. Okay, that's about it. This lineup is rough. What up, Andy? Here. Dodgers are up 4-1 on the Yasiel Puig bomb. It all fell apart after. Oof. Rich Hill had a no-hitter into the 10th. Yeah, I remember that. Even without the caffeine. All right, we've got 2 games left on the docket. Pause for the cause. You guys stumbling in here. We have a 20% off coupon, and I fudging forgot what it was again. Dong, D-O-N-G. So if you guys want to get into the premium Discord, you want to get to the spreadsheets, add it to your repertoire, your tools, you want to look at my player pool, yada, yada, yada. Go to rundfs.com, click VIP memberships, find something that's right for you. You can lock in for the rest of the year. You can lock in for the season, which also includes NASCAR, and then MLB season will overlap with the first month of football season, and you'll have access to that. So that's cool. And you can get 20% off the sticker tag on top of getting a credit towards Fantasy Cruncher. So, man, if you got the season pass, $300, you can rebate that down, taking that $100 credit towards Fantasy Cruncher to $200. Then you're taking 20% off the $300. So let's see, coupon code DONG for the season pass would be $239. So essentially $139. Oh man, that seems unfair. That's crazy. So go check that out. Once you do upgrade, click VIP portals. There's gonna be some links, spreadsheet links, and then a link to the rundfs.com premium Discord. Yo, Jordan Walker just got optioned. Chat, you know what this does? Jordan Walker was tied with James Outman, I think, as NL Rookie of the Year. Like, Outman's Jesus. That's crazy. So yeah, go do all that. That's crazy. Hey man, coming from the minors to the majors, big jump. What up, Daniel? What up, Joseph? Shout out to Joseph. Newlywed Joseph. I guess not newly, but, you know, recently wed. Planning on taking down that 15K. Let's go. NBA. Nice. A stack against Sandoval might be interesting. Sandy's been walking fools. Yeah, and Sandy's got a lot of ownership. Athletics throwing Luis Medina, taking on Patrick Sandoval. Angels a 5.9 run total. Athletics at 3.9. So Sandoval, when we were looking at Cruncher, looked like Sandoval is going to have the highest ownership out of all pitchers, and it's not really close. I guess Steven Matz is right behind him. But 43% projected ownership on DK. So a lot of people are going to be there. Medina, I don't know much about him. We can go figure it out. And I did it again. I'm on after 4, but I guess it doesn't matter, right? No one else. Is there other baseball shows on right now? I don't think the homies are doing anything. I try not to compete with other baseball shows, but also don't like to wake up too early. And the Yankees were on. So sue me. Medina in the PCL, 3.86 ERA. That's solid. 9.1 innings pitched. And 11 strikeouts in those innings. So he's only got one. Is that just one game? Or let's see. No, it's 3 games. So none of those games are like deep either. Looks like he's got good results. No homers in PCL. Average allowed to 161. Let's go to last year. RPSs. Man, I don't really know them though. What's about baseball? Any lock for NBA? No, I haven't really been too. Like, I'll watch the playoffs from a distance, but I'm in baseball mode. My homie's betting on a LeBron triple-double. 49 Ks, 45 innings to lefties last year, 58. So it got some strikeout ability. Ground ball rate's there. The whip is also there. Good God. 25 walks and 45 innings to lefties. 37 walks and 47 innings to righties. That could be a problem. And 3 homers and 45 innings. That's not as insane. And 4 and 47, also not that crazy. But the walks are going to be a problem. If you're going to put ducks on the pond for Trout, Ohtani, Renfroe, guys like that. It could be in for a long night. And we know the Athletics bullpen has been atrocious. So with that, and the run total, got to have a lot of interest in the Angels, but also would imagine that The world has a lot of interest in the Angels, and they do. Mike Trout, 1-3 lineups, 1-4 for Ohtani, 1-5 for Ward. So, looking like your chalk stack. But you can't really disagree with it. Athletics are giving up a couple touchdowns a week, right? We talked about that. And then Patrick Sandoval pitching for the Angels, grabbing a lot of attention. And I think the Athletics pitching is worse than the Athletics hitting, if that makes sense. Athletics, is this real? A positive WRC. How many lefties have they faced? So we might create a reason to put, because I guess a Sandoval Angel stack is going to be a chalky way to start lineups tonight. So let me look at the team stats, batting. Let's split it against lefties. And we'll do two things. We'll look at this season, and then we'll look at last year. The longer, the better. I mean, I appreciate it. I feel like watching one guy talk about baseball, it's got to be the most boring, the most boring content possible in the industry. But I love that you guys are into that, so thank you. So we want WRC plus against lefties from this season. How's the weather? Looks like the weather will be fine, at least for a game to get in. If you're worried about the weather, it's probably going to impact pitching more. So WRC plus against lefties. Oakland is top 5. Who would have guessed that coming into this game? I mean, only 251 plate appearances, but let's do this. Let's go active roster, and then we'll go to the beginning of last season. And I guess it's already, no, it's not sorted. How far down do we get to Oakland? All right, that normalizes it a lot more, pushing them to 18th. They're still above, 102, but still. But this season, top 5, so that's kind of crazy. Because Patrick Sandoval is your highest owned pitcher, and I always like to look at the highest owned pitcher when it's at like 40% plus to start peeling back reasons to fade the chalk, other than for the sake of fading the chalk. We did that yesterday to perfection with Blake Snell. It blows my mind that Blake Snell was so popular. One of the easiest fades of the season. But with Sandoval, what can we fault him for? 12% swing and strike rate, has been 12 plus in 3 games straight now. Toronto, Boston, Yankees. I mean, that's a death row right there. Batted ball, 484 xFIP, 5 Sierra. So that's pretty bad. Ground ball rate solid. Line drive rates elevated. StatCast, 7% barrel rate. Has that a lot of barrel in 2 games. Pitch values. I don't really have a whole lot of. I guess the walks is what we were saying. He has a crazy walk rate. 12 walks. He had 6 walks against the Yankees. I remember early on they were patient. 3 against Boston. Which side of the coin? Wait, 6,500? What the heck? Well, that's why he's chalk. God dang. How did that happen? Is it really because... I mean, I respect dynamic pricing based on performance, but be consistent. Alright, well, that's a little harder to push back on for DK. So we're going to go... We might have severely different slates on site to site then, right? What is Fanduel ownership on Sandoval? Oh, fudge. Elder and Disco Stew against them Cards. I can see that. Descalvani. Main. So he's still top 2, but way more reasonable ownership on Fanduel. This will look a lot more like my. All right, I just didn't pay attention to his price apparently. And then so we're gonna full stack Angels for sure. I think at the very least we're getting to a sub stack of Athletics, but I do think this lineup is deep enough that you and this Angels bullpen has been. I guess they haven't been too trash. I'll at least get to a sub stack of Athletics. It'll probably be like Rooker, Langoliers, Aledmus Diaz, maybe Esteury Ruiz. There's a couple names I can get behind. And then full stack Angels. Right? Then we'll get to the main event. Cardinals and the Giants. Steven Matz taking on Anthony DeSclafani. I can hear the wind starting to come in. Matz picking up some steam, some ownership. We got a 4.4 run total for the Cardinals, a 4.4 run total for the Giants. Giants have been very strikeout prone this season to both sides of the plate. I have a 30%-ish K rate to lefties this season. Let's see if that holds strong since we already have that tab open. Yeah, about 30%. So second to just the Brewers, 63 WRC plus against lefties. Certainly a lot to be desired. So makes a lot of sense right off the rip for why we would be interested in a pitcher against those numbers in Oracle. But it's Matt's 6K. Dude, they just fell asleep here. Let's pull up his metrics from this season so far. Last season, his 26% K rate, buck and a quarter on the whip, 3.64 expected ERA, barrel rate's 9%. That's fine. Swing and strike rate was 12%. So I would take just based on those metrics, I would be interested. Let's see if he's playing to those numbers so far this season. 13% swing and strike rates, elite. 3.6 xFIP. 4.15 on the Sierra. Ground ball rate still his highest batted ball event result. Elevated line drive rate. How about walks? He has a 4 walk per night, so he does have a little bit of walk problem. 373 BABIP. He's actually looking like he's a little bit unlucky on the BABIP department. Yeah, I think it's hard to push back against that. We'll see what this official lineup is, I guess. But J.D. Davis, Michael Conforto, David Villar, Mike Yastrzemski, Joey Bart. Didn't Joey Bart get removed last night? Is he hurt? Green said he might be available off the bench Tuesday against the Cardinals. Because he got hurt Monday night. So we'll see. Early on, though, I think it's very reasonable to be on Mats. And I'd probably be on Mats the most on FanDuel. But the 6K price tag is just busted either way. He hasn't gone 6 innings yet. He's right at the door. Right at the door. 5 walks against Pittsburgh. All right, I'm in. I think we go. I think on DK. Here, I'll go. Here's what we'll go. T2. A DK, and then we'll do the same thing for Steven Matz. T2A DK. So it's a high tier 2 because of the price on DraftKings. And then DeSclafani, Disco Stu, 8,600 on DK. Came into the season with horrendous metrics. Are we cleaning things up? Play disciplined. Sub 10% swing and strike rate. 282 xFIP and a 3.1 Sierra. I mean, that's elite. I guess he's had a pretty positive strength of schedule. Chicago seems kind of bad. Royals and Detroit, horrendous. And then the Mets. What was 10% swing and strike rate against the Mets? Batted ball data. Heavy ground ball rate. Why is he good? What happened? Ground ball rate last year, 43%. He's getting a lot better result. I guess the 412 average allowed in 19 innings was going to be unlucky anyway. Let's look at his strikeouts. 21K. So he's less than he's still more of a contact guy, but really good results here. So in this part, Cardinals have been pretty underwhelming. I'm still, they're kind of like the Padres, except they weren't as hyped, where I just always want to play them, and then they always like suck. Let's see. Let's flip to WRC plus here. Cardinals might be pretty bad against righties, right? St. Louis. Not that bad. 106 WRC plus, so better than I was expecting. 21% K rate. I think I'll get to some Disclafani though. So I'll have to find room for him there. Stack wise, I think we can always substack both these teams because they write themselves, right? Goldie, Gorman, Arenado, Wilson Contreras. I mean, the more I read those names out loud, the more I'm like, yeah, there's 5 there. Jordan Walker won't be in the lineup. We'll see what that does. And then on the Giants side, against a lefty, we saw Austin Slater come back. Tyro Estrada, Mitch Haniger wasn't in the lineup last night. A couple of those guys. So they might be prone for a sub stack, and we might get to a Giants full stack. I think that's how we play that. Or Cardinals full stack. Sorry. So we'll go Cardinals, and we'll go Giants. So that's how we're working. That's how we're doing it. That's what you stepped in. All right, so that's our slate. And remember, it's an early lock. It's going to lock in a little over an hour. So if you guys got anything else for me, anything you want to look at, throw them at me. I'll double check these lineups. We still have a Pirates lineup. That's weird. Rays. I guess we have most of these lineups already punched in here. But if you guys want to look at anything, hit me up. Let's go look at the bomb detector. Kyle Tucker at the tippy top. James Outman, Fernando Tatis, Mookie Betts, Schwarber, Wisdom, Gorman. So not a lot of 4s today. Not a lot. Let's look at tomorrow's schedule. Tomorrow might be the all-day skewness, right? Thursday. If you guys are in the DFW area, man, make sure you guys are careful tonight. Don't go outside. Yeah, tomorrow. I guess there could be a 5-game main slate. Could. So we'll play it by ear, but it's a little bit more skewed, a little bit more spread out. So there's at least we're gonna put the stream as a yellow, and then Friday we got the all night shenanigans. So that's what we got. Twitter.com/Gundecker, coupon code DONG at RunDFS.com. Get yourself 20% off, man. 3 things, man. I appreciate you guys making part of my day, be part of your day. Thumbs up, subscribe, tell somebody you love them. I love you guys. I'll see you guys later or in the Discord. Good luck. God bless. Going some money.